And now to a breaking development that is all set to set the cat amongst the pigeons. There is a possibility that a draft bill providing reservation to Muslim contractors on government contract will be brought before the cabinet in Karnataka this evening. 4% reservation is what this draft is said to have mentioned to be allocated to Muslim contractors. My colleague Deepak joins us for more details. Deepak, first of all, give us a breakdown of what exactly does this reservation entail?
Now, we should understand that, contracts, of course, are given after calling tenders in other government, contracts in particular, be it any department, be it the BBMP, be it the PWD department, the rural development, or for that matter, even the education department. Now, the protocol that's usually followed is there is a tender that's floated, and then there are contractors who make the bidding for based on the tender, and then the lowest bidder and the best possible bid goes ahead and gets the contract. Here, what the Muslim leaders, some of the Muslim leaders in the state government, including Nazir Ahmad and Zamir Ahmad, Rizwan Arshad, and several others, had written earlier to the Chief Minister saying that there should be a reservation to the Muslim contractors, and the reservation should be about 4%. That would mean that for a particular bid, there would only be Muslim contractors, that is 4%, who would be eligible to actually apply, or they will be reserved, so nobody else can actually take that 4%. And they claim that this is going to be predominantly for smaller contracts, which will be of the value of anywhere between 1 to 2 CR. As of now, the nitty-gritties are being worked out. This proposal, of course, was sent several weeks ago. We had in the month of November last year, of course, had broken this story as well here on Times Now. Well, the latest development that we're picking up here is that a draft bill could be prepared very soon, and if there is a need, it would be brought before the cabinet. The cabinet is, of course, sitting today at the Vidhan Sabha as well after the end of the assembly session. If it is discussed there, then that bill could, of course, be brought into the Karnataka Assembly. This is the latest information that we have. If it does, we'll once again, of course, see the BJP latch on to it, who in the past have called it appeasement, and today as well, with this being right now in the midst of a discussion once again, they're saying that this again reflects on the appeasement mentality of the Congress, which of course is being vehemently denied by the Congress, who say that there is reservation even, for the backward classes, for the SC/STs in contractors, and there as well it is a very small percentage, and once again it is for smaller contracts, not for the larger ones. So if they are actually catering to the SC/ST community, does that also mean appeasement? According to the BJP, is a counter charge that has actually come in from the Congress party.
Right, but the Constitution clearly says that cannot be any religion-based quota. SC/STs and OBCs have been getting reservation as per the Constitution. What exactly is the backdoor that Karnataka cabinet plans to use to ensure that Muslims also get a percentage in the reservations for contracts? We'll explore that further, but we've got a reaction coming in. Listen in.
When we gave it to Dalit communities, was it appeasement? When we give it to backward classes, was it appeasement? Likewise, giving it to minorities is also not appeasement, and minorities is not necessarily only Muslim. That is one. Two, if you see the contracting business as a whole, and if you go and see, do you see many Dalit faces being contractors? Do you see people from backward classes being contractors? Do you see people from minorities being contractors? If they are also, they are in a small number, 0.1%. Contracting is a business largely monopolized by the upper caste communities and major communities. So it is very necessary for the inclusive growth that every small community, disempowered community, marginalized communities should be given.
Right. We are now joined by Mr. S. Prakash of the BJP. Sir, what do you have to say about this latest proposal being considered by Karnataka cabinet? The first draft came earlier in November. Even then, BJP had raised its voice against this proposal to give religion-based quota. But nonetheless, now the government is pushing ahead with it.
No, it's very unfortunate. Government is taking all unconstitutional measures by extending reservation even in government tenders, which is uncalled for. There's no discrimination between Hindu and Muslims in tender. It is only the lowest person gets tender. But the Congress party is trying to communalize every issue just for the sake of vote bank. I fail to understand the motive behind it. I demand that the measure should be withdrawn immediately by the Congresswoman. Otherwise, they'll face the consequences.
Right, but how do you think the state government is going to ensure that they bring a Muslim quota? Religion-based quotas are illegal, and not just this time around, several times in the past as well, the matters have gone to courts, and the government knows that it cannot pass muster the scrutiny of judiciary.
No, it will not stand the judicial scrutiny. Even Congress party and the government are very well aware of it. But they are sending a signal to the minority community that they are with you and they want to extend the reservation even in the businesses. But there are forces which is preventing. That's the logic behind this agenda. It's very unfortunate. Despite knowing it cannot be implemented, they are going ahead with that.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Prakash, for joining us. Deepak, so clearly the government knows the category, the target audience that it is catering to by making announcements like these. But what about the timing? As you yourself mentioned, the first draft came a couple of weeks ago. And interestingly, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah had then said there is no proposal as such. We are not considering any of those things. Yes, some people are thinking about it. We are not one of those people. And now we know that Karnataka cabinet is all set to take up this issue.
Well, yes, the proposal, of course, was given to the Chief Minister to consider this. We, of course, heard the justifications that came in. Mr. Rizwan Arshad there explaining what the need of, the reservation here, because he believes that as far as the contractor business itself is concerned, he believes is dominated by, the majority communities, and for inclusive growth is what they are making this claim under. They're saying that this particular reservation should be given to the minority community and to the Muslims as well. We'll really have to see whether the cabinet actually takes a call, and if it does, and this bill will of course have to come into the Karnataka Assembly, and that's where the role of the BJP, which is right now already opposing it, comes in, where we'll really have to see what sort of drama unfolds.
Right, Deepak, what exactly is this Section 6 of KTPP Act that the government now is looking to amend in order to ensure that this quota can be given?
Well, like I mentioned, at this point in time, the procedure through the, of course, the Karnataka Procurement Act, basically, you call for tenders, then anybody can apply. But when you have certain reservations or when you make certain inclusions there that come in that particular act, and you amend it or you bring in a draft copy, and then of course it eventually becomes a bill, then there will be additional provisions that do come in, which allows for this 4% reservation. Now there's already of course reservation that is given to the backward class community. There's also reservation given to the SC/STs. This is once again, I'm talking about contractors here. This is not reservation as in the general sense, of course, that we refer to. This is particularly among contractors. For example, if there is a contract for the road work that I'm standing on, that would mean that if this comes to the fore and if it actually becomes reality, then 4% reservation would be given. That would mean that 4% of the tenders that would be awarded here will go only to the minority community. That's the idea behind the amendment that they are proposing.
All right, but like the Congress would have us believe that there is nothing criminal. In fact, I can quote CM Siddaramaiah the last time this issue made headlines, where he said it is not a crime to have aspirations, but the Congress very well knows it is a crime as per the current, at least it is illegal as per the current provisions of the Constitution to allocate religion-based quota. Now, we know that SC and ST categories cannot be fiddled around with when it comes to Muslim reservation. So obviously, there will be a subcategory that will be created under the OBC section. And once again, Deepak, that will raise the issue of taking away what is due to the OBCs to give it to one particular religion.
Well, here they are saying that it's a different idea. There's already reservation for the contractors, who are from the SC/ST community, and they're also saying that this does not apply to all contracts. It applies to contracts of a particular bandwidth that is below 1 crore, or they will of course set that amount after a discussion that will take place with the cabinet. We'll really have to see once that discussion takes place, what sort of category they really put this particular reservation under, whether it will be for the smaller contracts of below 1 CR or 1 to 5 CR or above that as well. So once these discussions are held, we'll probably have more clarity on the same.
All right. Thank you, Deepak, for joining us with those details. It is interesting that this comes at a time when the government in Karnataka is also facing allegations of charging super high commissions from the contractors itself. Could this perhaps be a deflection tactic? We'll find out more right now, taking a quick break.